Hello everybody and welcome back to the chassis variant series with myself, Critical Rocket. We're moving on to the Catapult, and what a venerable mech we are looking at. The Catapult has some age. It's up there with the Banshee in terms of age in the inner sphere. It was produced for the Terran hegemony way back when, in the 2600s, and maybe even earlier, and it continued in its use throughout the entirety of the Succession Wars, all the way up to the Clan Invasion and beyond. So it's got a bit of it's got a few war stories under its belt as the Catapult. Now, the Catapult was designed as a second-line fire support mech. This means that it was never intended for frontline combat service in the same role as other heavier designs such as the Archer, as it was really meant to just kind of back up large formations of infantry and the such with some LRM support fire. As such, it was a popular design for the Capella Confederation, and later on the Draconis Combine. They were the two houses that fielded the largest numbers. So if you're looking at doing any specific faction paint schemes for the Catapult, basically have a look at Kurita and House Lau's designs there for painting your mech. Going ahead, the A1 variant, which is in this video, as you can see, is probably the weakest Catapult, at least from MechWarrior Online's point of view. It was a all-missile variant, and as such came equipped with just two LRM-15s, which anyone who's played with the any of the other Catapult variants will know that the standard configuration is the LRM-15s with 4 medium lasers. The trade-off is, for the loss of the lasers, you gain some extra ammo. That's about it, really. It retains the jump jets, it retains virtually the same armor values, but you're at the downside of all your weapons are in your giant bunny ears on the side of the mech, and you run the risk of being killed very easily if something gets within 180 meters of you. Because, let's face it, unless you're on comms, not many people are going to come to your aid, unless it's really obvious that you're being attacked. Now, the upside of the A1 in MechWarrior Online is obviously PGI looked at this and went, yeah, we want it, but how are we going to make it viable? Well, way back when, and if you remember, if some of you guys ever played the beta, going years back now, this was the infamous Splatapult. The Splatapult was just basically 6 SRM-6s, as the A1 has 6 missile hardpoints, 3 in each arm. This means it can mount a significant number of missiles. Obviously, in today's MechWarrior world, it can mount multiple LRM-5s, and it can very rapidly burn down opponents. Obviously, equipped with Artemis. Most people take a mix of weapons. They'll take a couple of streaks, maybe, and a few LRMs or SRMs and a couple of LRMs. You'll take a mix. Generally, the best way of doing it is you're either going to go all one or all the other. For me personally, I would always go, if I was going to customize this thing, I'd always go with SRMs, because with the resize and the speed, it becomes a decent chassis for those elements. Being able to get in close, Artemis, boom, splat damage, move on to the next target. Very, very efficient at that. As I said, way back when in the beta, this thing used to just tear people apart. It was a horrendous killer, and actually caused a major switch up in some of the balancing of very early MechWarrior Online. I mean, we're talking about when the game, I think, maybe had 5 or 6 mechs, and it was all Innisphere tech back then, not clan stuff. So yeah, Catapult has been around for a long time, so I don't expect anyone to have really not played it who's a veteran. If you're new, the A1, as I said, you definitely want to work with either all LRM kind of setup, something that's a bit more efficient like 5s that can rapid fire, or you want to go with SRMs and you just want to be able to just run up to targets and splat them and just move on to the next target, because that was one of the things that made the Catapult A1 so deadly. Would I recommend it? I'd recommend it for people who are a bit more comfortable with the mechanics of MechWarrior Online, for people who are used to running things that have already been heavily emphasized with missiles. So if you've been running like a Cyclops or a Kintaro, or any of the clan mechs that have a heavy focus on LRM/SRM builds, it works virtually the same. Otherwise, as a sort of your first foray into the Catapult sort of series of mechs, I wouldn't recommend this right off the bat. It's not bad, you know. It's more like a sort of intermediate to hard kind of difficulty to sort of get used to, because you have to remember that anyone who sees A1 when they lock onto you are immediately going to shoot your arms, because as soon as your arms are gone, you're useless. You have no backup weapons. There are no side torso or CT mounted energy hardpoints, so you're pretty much fucked. So keep that in mind if you're going to play it. And I believe there's not much left of this round. My damage was abysmal because trying to use 2 LRM-15s in Crimson Straight was very difficult. And well, I hope that was informative. I hope that helped out. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good week. It's Critical Rocket signing out. Bye.
Warning, incoming missile.
We almost have it. Hold on for just a little longer.
Fuel at 25%.
Affirmative.
Right leg critical damage. New target acquired.